All right, welcome back to Local Sports Network, where we are going to run the new wrap-up with Pete Rawley, who joins me on the phone for NFNL. Pete, welcome to the show.
G'day, Gaz. How are you, mate?
Mate, you already sound like a radio star in the background. Happy to have you do this with me each week. I'm looking forward to it. For those that don't know, Pete, he is the president of Ivanhoe Football Club, and they are in for one hell of a year. They did have the bye on the weekend, so he should have a pretty unbiased view as we go through it. But, Pete, we're going to jump straight into Division 3, which is your backyard. Let's talk about these results for the weekend. We probably don't need to touch on Reservoir and Laylaw from what seems so long ago, now 2 weeks ago, but Reservoir did get the chocolates in week one on Good Friday, 2016 136 to Laylaw 5-4-34. We've discussed that 100 times. We'll move forward on the show. But Kilmore, 16-11-107 took on King Lake, Pete, and at King Lake 8-6-54 and absolutely murdered them, didn't they?
Yeah, they sure did. And I think that, some people were interested to see what had happened with King Lake. Obviously they've had some notable departures throughout the off-season in the Robinsons, Pywall King and so forth. So everyone was interested to see what had happened up there in King Lake. And I think people thought it was going to be a little bit closer than this, but Kilmore sort of put him to the sword first update.
Well, they're pretty lucky to get away with 53 points because at three-quarter time, Kilmore was up by 71 points. So they might have taken their foot off the gas a little bit, let them back in it. For me, I thought Kilmore would finish third on the ladder this year. I actually really enjoyed watching their pre-season, new coach, bringing in new players, and they are a very tall side from what I've worked out so far. Their best players for them were Liam Salter, Max Lena, Marcus LaCuria, Kai Mayer, Ryan Bailey, and Jarvis Sleep. And for King Lake, Michael Florence, always in the best there, Mason McAllister, Connor Caldo, Will Graff, Angus Ford and Lockie White. Bit of soul searching there for King Lake after round one. They'll have to get their skates on and get ready for round two pretty quickly after that sort of touch-up 27 scoring shots to 14, Pete.
Yeah, that's a lot. That tells a story there, doesn't it? Just how many 450 entries they've had.
Huge.
Over King Lake. So, look, I got a little bit of a look at Kilmore earlier in the year and for their practice games and the new game plans. They've got some great youth there. They're fast, good speed and everything like that. And they look really good in the practice. So they've taken that form into round one and got the away points.
All right, well, let's move on from there. Then there was the Paddy Chow Cup. Moonda got the chocolates there, 12-15-87 to Epping, 8-9-57. But no disgrace there despite the 30-point difference on the scoreboard because at three-quarter time, Epping was in front by a point. So it really must have been one hell of a game coming down to it. Best players for Epping were Josh Borden, Brett McCaffrey, Jude Jorgowski, Archer Budgen, Caden Burns, and I think the last one they had in there was Lois Kirkosta. And for Mernda, it seemed to be the normal Christian Evans, who I think is going to have a cracker year. Christian Evans is a very good player. Lachlan Taylor, Nathan Pajaga, James, I'm going to have a crack at this, Sakalovsky, Jet Phillips, and Justin Spadorkia. Tell me, Mernda, I think they needed to win this game, Pete, to be thought of as a top five proper contender. They've done that, and they had a few away with Gather Round. Time to reset for Epping. They'll take some positives out of it, but for Mernda, it was an important win, wasn't it?
Yeah, I agree, Gaz. I think that both have probably got a bit of a win out of this. Epping have been pretty upfront about their youth strategy, their next generation, that they're implementing at the club, and then Mernda, I actually see them as one of the faves going into the year. So well coached by Nipper, they've improved their list and all the rest of it. So I think Mernda to get away with the points, but Epping definitely not going to be too disappointed with that against one of the highly fancied clubs for the year.
I agree, and to come back into that lineup, just to add a bit more depth, you've got Kyle Yankos, their experienced defender, who was away at Gather Round. You've got Lockie Potter, who got married on the weekend, so he'll come back into that, perhaps after a honeymoon in a couple more weeks. You got Kyle Green to hit his strap yet, just let him get used to that for a couple of games, and you've got all the rest of their stars. So big things there for Moonda. For me, that was a big tick, and they fought back when they were getting, caught up on there, or actually Epping hit the lead. So that's a very interesting one. Good on them. That's the right start for them, and with players to come back, they'll be pretty positive. We were out. I know I seen you out at West Heidelberg versus Old Eltham. You were snooping around to see because have you got West next week, haven't you?
We have, yeah. We've got West for the Russell Renke Cup that we play between our two clubs.
Yes.
So we've got a twilight game next Saturday against West. So we went out to have a bit of a look at them and the Turtles.
Great. Well, it was a very good game. 9-8-62. Heidelberg West got the chocolates, 7-8-50, but no disgrace whatsoever to Old Eltham. I thought they were really with them all day, and only in maybe the last 3 minutes did I think it was over. Other than that, I thought it was excellent for West Heidelberg. I think we gave best on for the day from memory. Or maybe don't hold me to that. I'll come back to that. But they've given Lewis Hill, who we thought was second best on. We thought he was fantastic. They had Hayden Bolson in the best. This is the online ones. I probably don't agree with that. I thought Hayden was okay. Ryan Offer, he was excellent. Very, very good game. Nicholas Patton, Max Post, and Mitchell Thomas, they were all really good. I thought Will Bruce was probably stiff not to be in that best. I thought Will Bruce was one of their better players on the game. Jack Prosser also played a really good game for them. Michael Italia was very good, and I can't remember who I gave best on. I'm just going to scroll. I think it was James Condello from memory. I thought he was sensational. I don't know why they haven't listed him in their best there. It must have been watching a different game. And over to Old Eltham, who will take a hell of a lot out of this game. Jack Fitzgerald, I agree with. They had him best. He was sensational. Brock Togney was special. Really, really good. James McCallum dominated the ruck all day. Tim Ellis, that experience is sensational. Lennox Thompson, Bailey Dillon. Don't disagree with any of them. I reckon they missed James Condello. Definitely best on ground by a country mile out there. And a good 4 points for West Heidelberg. I tell you why, Pete, my thought process was whoever didn't win this game is starting from a fair way behind. I don't think that's so much now because Old Eltham were very serviceable on the day.
Yeah, I absolutely thought watching the game that both listed had improved their game styles, and that obviously new coaches for both clubs. So I thought both had improved. And, it wasn't ideal conditions with the rain on and off, made it very greasy out there at Chicken Cove. But, I thought it was really an interesting sort of change-up for West as well, putting some of those bigger bodies in Bolton and Hill there with Patton and Post in the mids and pushing more and Condello off half-back and really setting up those plays off half-back. So, but yeah, Ryan Offer, he may have kicked the goal that Eddie Betts would have been happy with too.
That was spectacular.
He would have been celebrating that late into the night. But
I must go back through it.
Turtles, some really good young kids. Bailey Dillon looked good, number 32. Lennox Thompson, 14. Young kids have come across. But, yeah, the old stages in Ellis and Fitzgerald were really good as well, mate. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, they were spot on. Then the pounding of the round in the Heidelberg Golf Club's Division 3 was Lorimer came out, did exactly what I thought they would do. I said they'd get up by 10 goals. They got up by 12, 15-12-102 to Watsonia 3-6-24. Now, whilst we probably expected that, there was only 6 points in it at quarter time and only 11 points in it at halftime, right? So it was 31-20 at halftime, Lorimer in front by 11 points. Now, the problem there is Watsonia did not kick another goal. They only kicked 4 more points for the rest of the game, including giving Lorimer a 7-goal third term and a 4-goal final term. For Watsonia, you couldn't come up against a better side, in round one, no disrespect to the other sides, yourself included, but Lorimer's a serious outfit for me. I'm the only one that's tipped them to win the flag this year, and I just think what they have that that any other club doesn't have, not just Ivanhoe, is these kids have grown up together and played together. So that camaraderie, you can't bring that into a side, in day one. It takes time to build, doesn't it, Pete?
Oh, absolutely. They're a very, very good team and club that they've got going there at the moment at Lorimer. And as you said, a lot of those young guys have come up and, they're getting, more games of senior football into them. They've played a lot together. They've added some great experience with, Jesse Donaldson and Keys coming into there with Esmac and Daughter, who were there the year before. So, yeah, look, they're looking really, really good. Look, it's not the first time Lorimer have put the foot down after half-time and blown sides away or kept them to minimal points, and I don't think it'll be the last time either. So, Watsy, again, have been really upfront with their rebuild, their young kids. They lost, a lot of experienced talent when they dropped back down. They're very aware of where they are. They're investing in those kids, and they've copped the powerhouse first up on their home deck. So, their first half something to be proud of, second half something to look at, and conversely, I think Jimmy will be reminding the boys that you've got to be switched on 100% of the time and not take any game too easy. And make sure that they've got that mindset right for every single game they play.
I'm not sure I'd pay Patrick Fitzgerald for his game on the weekend. Only kicked 6, bit of a downer for him. I would have thought been a bit cheeky, and Jesse Donaldson puts 2 on there as vice captain, and all of a sudden, you've look at those 2 guys alone. I know Caden Arthur, who I love. Caden Arthur's one of my favourite players, and captain of the side. He puts 2 on the board, and you could argue maybe not against a strong lineup, but still exceptional. I'm really happy to see Cameron Cloak get off the mark there. A lot can be learnt out of Cameron Cloak. He's got a lot to offer this young group that will go a long way. I'll just cover off on the best before we move forward. For Lorimer, Noah Mooney, Vecchio, Paddy Fitzgerald, Jesse Donaldson, Steve McCallum, Luke Wilson, all on the best there for Lorimer. And for Watsonia, going to have a crack at this, Luke Sansonetti, Sam Cousins. Yeah, you help me out with any of these. Lowry, Gretsch, Tarkson. I wonder if Seb Tarkson is related to the old Darren Tarkson that used to play for Carlton in the day. And Bradley Morey. Look, for Division 3, I think that's about the start we somewhat expected. I'm really happy with the results everywhere, I thought. And I think as we go into the week ahead, we're not going to spend much time on it. For me, Kinglake get a crack against Old Eltham, so they'd want to bag those 4 points. But that won't be as easy as you think, because Steve McCallum has those boys sorted at All Eltham. I was very impressed. Epping will take on Laylaw. Mernda will take on Lorimer. We're going to see how big that gap actually is. And Reservoir take on Watsonia. You'd think Reza might get the points there, but Watsy will come out pretty strong. And then the big boys, the guys with the non-stop bank balance. He's all over big footy. Everyone says they've sold one of Pete Rawley's 45 houses, and they've bought the world. Ivanhoe Seniors take on West Heidelberg. Saying it with tongue-in-cheek, you've got a lot of great juniors coming back. You must be excited to get ready for round 1.
Yeah, we are. We had a session with our senior squad on Saturday morning, and then the guys went and watched a little bit of local footy, and that was great. But we're ready to kickstart the season off and see how we go. And we know that after having a look at West on the weekend, we'll have some work to do as well. So really looking forward to it.
Not going to be a walk in the park. Let's jump into the Division 2 MC Labour one, and started with St Mary's getting the chocolates over McLeod 10-13-73. They beat McLeod 8-17-65. They might rue those points because it sounds like they were in it all day long, and it was very tight all day. You couldn't separate them all day, so it came down to the wire. That's very, very good footy. Division 2 is so close from 1st to 8th. I just cannot separate them. Happy for St Mary's to get a win, though. For them to go to that next step, they needed to beat McLeod in round 1.
Yeah, absolutely. You took the words out of my mouth, actually, Gaz. So I think it's a great win for the Borough to get that against McLeod. Now, I think I looked online. Was Darcy Barden held goalless in this one?
I'm going to tell you, I thought...
Yeah, so that's and maybe a little bit of poor kicking has cost the Kangas on that one, but a great win by St Mary's. And as you said, that's the sort of win that they've got to get if they want to progress deeper into finals action in 26.
You're 100% spot on too. Darcy Budden was kept goalless. The inclusion of Mackenzie Hogg was sensational. He kicked 2, and I think they had a 3-goal kicker. Jasper Howe kicked 3 as well. So
Right.
that was for McLeod. And having a look at the St Mary's goal kickers, pretty well scattered. Or Will Ryan got 3 in there as well, and there was 2 for Earns and 2 for Harry Butterworth in his first game back at his junior club, which you got to love to see. So look, I think both sides here take a little bit out of that. That's what a finals contest is going to look like. I expect to see both of these guys come finals time, Pete.
Agreed. Yeah, I agree with you. I think, that, as you said, that's the sort of contest that we're going to see come the end of the year with these two teams going deep into finals.
All right, Old Paradians, who are expected to be the ones that rise the highest this year, they're expected to play finals this year. They might not love me saying that, but I give you the mail all around town is they are expected to play finals, and they got off to the perfect start, 11-14-80, defeating Lower Plenty 8-10-58. I expected that result to look like that. I think I said the other day it would be 28 points. Wasn't too far off. It was 22. Lower Plenty stayed with them. They'll take a lot of confidence out of that. But for Old Paradians, 4 points gets their season absolutely onto the right path.
Yeah, 22-point win away, and what was it, 25 scoring shots to 18. So
Correct.
Maybe that could have been a little bit bigger as well. But yeah, they'll be very happy. I know Vino and BT will be really happy with that result, and sets them up for a big game against Tomo next week. But yeah, they'll be really happy to get off the mark with the 4 points and get their season underway.
Certainly gets them moving, does it? Their best players there for Old Paradian were Connor McDonald, Josh Ikiakabuko. Did I even say that right? Because if I didn't, it sounds great. Is it Ichiabako?
I'll just go with Yaka.
Yaka. All right. Sorry. If you're listening, Josh, and I haven't got it right, feel free to text me. Sam Philp, that's great. You've been there. Anthony Kafari and Noah Whittle, Billy
yep.
Bedford. They've got some really good quality players in this side. Kyle McDonald kicked a goal for them. Come over. Adam Valeri from West Preston kicks a couple.
The teams from Heidelberg.
Oh, mate, I'm having a look at this side. This is a very good side on paper, Old Paradians, and there's no disrespect to the best players at Lower Plenty either, with Nathan Raphael, Jack Maggan, Kieran Porter, always in the best. You always see Kieran Porter in the best every game. Joel Leslie, Jed Wallace, and Jordan Smith make up the numbers there. I think they'll both take something out of that. Lower Plenty, I'm not sure exactly where they go. If they're going to break in, they're going to have to steal 1 or 2 of these wins, but we'll call that one as we've seen it. Thomastown then at home to Panton Hill. I said the loser of this is in a hell of a lot of trouble, I think, nice and early. But it was, again, pretty close. So how do you read this? 10-8-68 Thomastown to Panton Hill, 7-9-51. Both in it for the whole game, Pete. Love this.
Yeah, really tight game, this one. At Tomo, would have been a physical contest there, no doubt. But 17-point win at the end for Tomo, and that'll see Paro and the rest of the coaches there very happy to get their first 4 points for the year and give them a little bit of confidence into what will be a great game versus the Raiders next week. So, yeah, they'll be happy to get those 4 points and move forward from there.
I did see Paul Harris, and he came down to the Fitzroy Stars Northcote Park game that I was commentating with KB, and asked him how the day was, and he said that the weather was certainly playing up a little bit for both sides. They both had to earn it for the day, and he said the game was played in excellent spirits, and it was a quality game. So, if Paul Harris says that, it's spot on, because he's a very smart man.
Yeah. I think, you just knew that this was going to be a really physical contest, the way these two teams go about it and all the rest of it. And a lot on the line, even though it's only round 1 for both of them. So to get off to a good start. So I'm not surprised by hearing that.
All the normal names for Thomastown: Piccolo, Dib, Hayes, Giacos and Barrow are all in there for the best, and for Panton Hill, a couple of new players have come over to there. Luke Oakley, Livingston, Jesse Owens, Oliver Smith, Sam Parks. Sam Parks is going to be on the show, on the Northern Footy Show this Wednesday night. He's coming in with Craig Huggy Huggins. They are going to be our special guests as they're celebrating their 100th year this year, so we're looking forward to have them on the show this Wednesday night. Let's press forward pretty quickly. We're going to keep this to 30 minutes, and I'm already running over. I have no concept of time, Pete. Whittlesea took on South Morang. For me, this was match of the round in Division 2, and I don't think anyone felt let down there. 14-13-97, Whittlesea defeated South Morang 9-13. 67. Both kicked 13 points each for the game. I understand the quality and the speed of the game was sensational from Mickey Thompson was there. He said it was a high-quality game. Both sides were in it, the whole way. I know at three-quarter time, Whittlesea were in front 87-51. They didn't take their foot off the pedal, though, and they actually outscored them in the last one, South Morang, as well. So I think Whittlesea, I thought they were flag favourites. I still think they're flag favourites. Maybe a little bit too much talent disappeared in one hit for South Morang, and they have bought some new players in. Give them a couple of weeks to get used to each other, and I think South Morang will still be there, Pete.
Yeah, agree, mate. They've got, they've got some resettling to do. They had a few players in, a few players out, Morang, over the off-season, so that'll take a little while to settle down. But with Whittlesea, one of the favourites in the pre-season, and no surprise for me to see Bailey Robinson in the best. Daz, absolute bull. Great player. We saw a lot of him, obviously, last year when he was playing for Kinglake, and straight off the bat, named best on ground for Whittlesea. No surprise there at all.
No, I agree with you. And the rest of the best there for Whittlesea, Ty Bland always in the best, Thomas Falls always in the best, Caden Ellen's a star, Thomas Crowley and Deacon Tennant always in the best as well. So the ever-reliable fellows there. And for South Morang, Tyrone Leonardi stuck around with the club this year, was fantastic. He had plenty of offers, I was told. Josh Lansfield, who would have been the most sought-after player in the land in local footy last year. I know plenty of other coaches asked me for his number. I quickly reminded them I don't have it, although we put him in the song. Tyson Gresham played there. He's going to be a star. Alex Kirakopoulos. Teague Van Zwienen, which I always get those names wrong. His brother had shoulder surgery, I think it was, during the week. Bit of a loss because I think he's one of their best players, if not their best player in that side. And Ben Peterson, all in the best for them. They're going to be strong. Both of these sides are going to be very strong, aren't they?
Yep, absolutely. Yep. Again, we've said it all along. This Division 2 this year is so tight, and games like this are going to be really, really important. And Whittlesea grabbing the 4 points and starting their season off the way that they'd hoped against very, very good quality club and team in South Morang.
100%. And the final game in the MC Labour Division 2 was Northcote Park playing Fitzroy Stars, and Northcote Park got the win, 12-9-81, defeated the highest shot scoring side of Fitzroy Stars, 10-13-73. This was a ripper of a game, Pete. Me and KB called the game live there, and it was an amazing crowd, amazing game. The quality was great. Both sides could have won it all the way up to the final 2 minutes. They just did enough, Northcote Park, some high quality football. I didn't pick Fitzroy Stars in my top 5. How do they got the points on this one? I might have changed my mind, but they're going to rattle a lot of sides. But let me tell you, Leo Ahmad, oh my Lord. I haven't seen enough of him other than replays, but seeing him in person and calling the game, he is a man mountain. If he wants to fight me, I am actually not running. I'm getting a cab and I'm driving as quick as I can. He's a big boy. His brother was pretty special as well. The Perry boys, mate, just unbelievable. Like they were there. But no disrespect to Fitzroy Stars. I'll take a lot of positive out of it. And they actually had more scoring shots, 23-21. They might rue that. I can't see Nev being over the moon about that. Some some supreme goals, just some supreme goals. Elijah Taylor was sensational. Ethan Penrith, sensational. Patrick Ferrand. I've never seen a 6. I don't know how tall he is. He's about 6'6", I reckon. I've never seen a 6'6" guy run, borg someone whilst he's picking up the ball on his opposite hand with one grab. How does that happen? He's a freak.
He's pretty special. We got to watch him a bit over the last couple of years, and he's an outstanding player.
Yeah.
And, again, I think this is a result, but Stars will be disappointed they didn't get the points in the end. But the Parkers have recruited well. They played finals action in Div 2. This says Stars have come up and they're not there to make up the numbers and hang on.
No.
They're there to make a statement and have a real crack under Nev and the team. So
they will be nowhere near the bottom.
They didn't get the 4 points. They'll get something out of it. And Joey Ahmed and the Parkers will be very happy to get that one away and kickstart the season with 4 points at home, no doubt.
While we're talking on the fours, Elijah Taylor kicked 4 goals, was absolutely sensational, and Leo Ahmed kicked 4 for the other side. Excuse me. Overall, very good. The one player I'm surprised to not see in the best players online for Fitzroy Stars, and I was there, and I actually had him as their best on ground. So whether they're just trying to hide him a little bit over there at Northcote Park, but Matthew Pearce, their ruckman, was sensational. He was definitely their best on ground. All right. Or actually, that's not true. Leo was best on ground, but he was second. They didn't name him in the best. He is an outstanding ruckman, and his second, third effort and skills are sensational. Ex-Gippsland power boy, young, tall, strong as an ox, going to be a massive player in this league this year.
Yeah, and, he didn't play against us in the practice match, and I was talking to Joey about him, and I've got huge raps on him and what he can bring to the club. So hiding him out of the best players isn't going to work, guys.
No.
Because people are going to see him play and they're going to know all about him pretty quickly.
There is 4 parking spots at that ground, and Joey Ahmed looked after me very well and made sure I got one of them inside the gates, so we could go in and call the game. So thank you, Joey, and thank you to Northcote Park for hosting us, and thanks to West Heidelberg for hosting us for the commentary as well. We'll talk about that when we finish in a sec. That was great. So next week, Fitzroy Stars take on Lower Plenty. That will be an absolute ripper and a good chance for Fitzroy Stars and Lower Plenty to get going. Panton Hill take on Northcote Park. Gee, tell you what, Panton Hill, you might have your work cut out for you, because they were pretty special the other night. And the only thing that goes for them is it's at Panton Hill, and Panton Hill, anything could happen. South Morang take on St Mary's. That's going to be a killer dilla. I cannot wait for that game. I'll be following that from wherever I am. And Old Pradians take on Thomastown. I would like to think Old Pradians, we'll talk more about tips on Wednesday night. I think Old Pradians might get the chocolates there. And McLeod take on Whittlesea. This is going to be another killer in Manila as well. I think this will be a fantastic match. I wish I could get to all of them, Pete.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm probably going to be a bit busy Saturday, but there's some games there I wouldn't mind getting around and having a look at either, mate.
Well, I don't think I'm calling a game this weekend purely because I'm going to watch another game. I'm going to go watch Greensboro versus Manuel and won't call the away game. But it'll be exciting. Maybe I'll do something just with updates on the radio station during the day rather than call a game. Then we get to round 1. Again, we won't focus on Greensboro. Eltham, we know they won on Good Friday, 12-11-83, Greensboro to Eltham, 8-8-56. But then the next big game, and the surprise for me, is West Preston were very close with Hurstbridge. I know it ended up as 29 points. That would be Hurstbridge, 11-16-82. West Preston, 8-5-53. We know West Preston are bloody hard to beat at home at the best of times, but they seem to have a lot more depth than perhaps the rumours were circulating around that they'd have. The only negative to all of that is it was 27 scoring shots to 13. You won't get away with that back at Hurstbridge ground.
No, you won't. That was one of the things I was looking at there, was the result was a bit closer than some people might have been thinking before the game. 27 shots to 13. Looks like Hursty were, quite inaccurate, and that could have blown out a little bit more. But, the regular there for West Preston in the best with Harmo, Marcus Federico and the like, sort of doing their best to make this a contest round one.
Yeah, look, I don't think you can ask more than that. What I'd say is Hurstbridge probably had their best side on paper in for a few years because they had both the Fitzgerald's boys there together. Yep. They had Josh Dintasante in from Williamstown as well. The two Hall boys were in. Kane Hall kicked two little snaggers as well. I heard they were quite pretty too. And he played with his brother Ty. And then you had all of the players you could have in there. The little X Factor, Callum Anderson, I'm told, was sensational. Don't know how they didn't put him in the best. I'll have to ring Baz and give him a smack in the teeth. He just deserves to be in the best for his name. And they should list him on there as the X Factor as well, I reckon. They should not be listed as Caleb Anderson anymore. Kalen Anderson, we've nicknamed him the X Factor. It's sticking. Getting a bit excited. We'll move on. Good win there to Hurstbridge. We'll move on. The blowout in the end, probably the score doesn't actually say how this game went because Heidelberg went 19-11, 125 to North Heidelberg 7-14, 56. So 30 scoring shots to 21. Should have been a little bit closer than 69 points on paper, shouldn't it, Pete?
Yeah, it does. I think, 21 shots on goal from North is encouraging in many ways, and I'm sure one of the things that Vinny and the Bergs coaches will be having a look about is just how they defend the ground and where those shots came in and that sort of thing, because as a professional outfit they are. But once again, North have had 21 shots and the Bergs have still gone away and just had a significant win. Again, just to stamp their class on this competition. They are a formidable football club and list, and again, it says to everybody, come and catch us.
Have a look at these names in their best. You got Sean Martins, Sammy Gilmore, Tommy Keys, Matty Signorello, Brody Tardio, and Lockie Wilson, right? So out of that, the players that I haven't spoken about, guys like Dan O'Dwyer, McInerney, Luke Bunker, Keenan Posser, holy Lord, they are a very, very, very special side. But you know what? In a year, I think they want to win it every year, but I think they want to win it in their 150th. They will be hunted. Parker Heatley kicked two on the day as well. I know he was their leading goal kicker. There was plenty of singles there to Chirkop and Shea and a few of the other ones. I think he was the only multiple goal kicker there, actually, Parker, from what I could see. And but you have a look at the other side, right? This is scary. I know we're running over time. It doesn't matter. But we were never going to do it on time, were we? How's this for scary, Pete? Sammy Gilmore kicks one. Tommy Geese kicks three. Kai Kearns kicks one. Tardio kicks two. Jack Andrews kicks one. Braden Sear kicks one. Two to McKenna. One to Dylan Clark. One to Signorello. Two to Dimatina. Then you've got another one to Smith, another two to Bars, and another one to Edmonds. I want to know who was in the back line.
Yep.
Everyone's had a crack at it. Vinny must have only put one down back.
What I want to know is why were they playing at the Kennel, not over in Adelaide in the other round?
Well, they should have been. It probably would have got a good crowd because, Heidelberg would have beaten Carlton. I said that a couple of weeks ago. I got smashed online because people go, you can't be serious. Let me tell you, I'm deadly serious at the moment. Carlton's in trouble. And I barrack for the Blues are in trouble. But well done. Everyone was a little bit hung up about, Vinny's lost his 3 practice games. If you think Vinny gives a rat's razoo about practice games, you do not know the man that is Vin Dottoli. Let me tell you that. Let's move.
150 years and it's going for a 5, Pete. They have lost none of the hunger.
Has anyone ever done it? I don't think anyone's done it in the NFNL or Diamond Valley, have they? 5 in a row.
I'm not sure.
I'll check with the league.
I come from a different comp.
Pretty sure they haven't.
Yeah, I believe it's a record. I believe that 5 in a row. But yeah, I'm sure our listeners will let us know if I'm talking rubbish or not.
Now, I'm going to get into the 2 biggest results of the week for me. Bundura Banyul, I tipped a draw. So I was 1 point off. Bundura got the job done, 6-11-47 to Banyul 6-10-46. So 1 point ball game, but I'll give you a couple of stats. Last year, Bundura lost 7 games after leading at three-quarter time. Now, Bundura led by 3 points at quarter time, 3 points at halftime, 3 points at three-quarter time, and got home by a point, Pete. your heart would have been in your mouth as a Bull supporter down there on the day.
Surely they've got a couple of spare defibs on hand down at Bundoora. The amount of tight games that they're in and all the rest of it is just incredible. But as you said, they lost those ones last year and they've won this one.
Yep.
So
got to get them early, don't you?
Jumped out a really important 4 points for them.
Spoke to a couple of people from both sides this morning without revealing who they were. Both were pretty happy with the effort. The person I spoke to at Banyule thought that they had their opportunity. They didn't take it in the last 3 or 4 minutes, and they missed 3 goals or something in the. They kicked in the last quarter 2 goals 3 to Bundoора's 2 goals 1. So it sounds like the opportunities were definitely there. But, they said at the end of the day, the conditions were a little blustery, a little wet. And at the end of the day, no excuses. Both sides had to play in them. But Bundoora got the win. They got the 4 points. And that's all that matters. And for Bundoora, they'll be happy. Jesse King, who I highly rate as a player. Jesse King, best on ground. O'Neill Moncrief, their new QAFL recruit, I've heard off-season, he's very, very special. Isaac McMillan, Liam Kohler, former VFL player, Pete McAvoy, former Coburg captain, and new player from the Quaffle as well, Fraser Lay. They're all in the best there, fantastic. And for Banyule, all the regulars there, Oliver Paul, Jack Langford, Tim Martin, Liam Sear. I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name, so you're going to have to work with me. Jean-Luc Valciaris, is that how you say it? Just say yes, for Christ's sake, say yes. Yes. His new name is JLV. So if you're listening to this, JLV, if you're listening, mate, I apologise, and I might see you down there this week as I come down to watch Greensboro play. But JLV, love everything about him. I'm hearing about him. I don't know why he's listed so far down. I was told he was best on ground, but we'll see. And overall, goal kickers spread out there, but Jesse King getting 3. As the big number for Bundoora, be pretty happy with getting 3 of the 6 goals they kicked on the day. And for JLV, he kicked 2. He was their major goal kicker with James Carews 2 each. And James Carews, I heard, was sensational as well. I don't think he was listed in the best. I was told he's very, very good. There was a private player listed, but I just think that's probably because they haven't got all transfers or whatever finalised at that point. Let's move to the final game of. Now, you like a Brainy Brothers brew, don't you, Pete?
I love a Brainy Brothers brew, yep.
I think the best local beer, Australian-made too, so we'll give him a bit of a plug here. And let me tell you why I'm going to give James Brainy a plug, because I opened my big fat mouth on Wednesday night on the show when Joel Grote sent something in and said, Daz, I reckon we're close. And I said, you will not get within 5 goals, you imbecile. And if you get within 5 goals, I'll give you 5 slabs of beer. Now, you reckon I haven't been grovelling to James Brainy on the phone for the last 24 hours?
I'm sure James will sort you out. Maybe
he did.
Some Royals. Some of the drafts, the mid-strengths, the pale's all right too. So, I'm sure he'll be able to sort you out, mate.
He's a ripper, and I actually said to him, I don't expect them for free, but you got to give me mates rates. And he said, Daz, we will sort it out because it's for local footy, which I love, because Diamond Creek were in front by 10 points at quarter time. It was a draw, both sides 37, but in front by 10 points at quarter time. And I thought, whilst I was commentating West Heidelberg's game, gee, they must have got off to a flyer. That's okay. It'll sort itself out. Checked it again at halftime, and they were up by, I think it was 16 points. And I was like, jeepers, what's going on? Actually, it was 17 points. 3/4 time had another look, and they were up by 12 points. And they'd kicked 4-10 Diamond Creek to that point to 3-4. And I'm like, what's going on here? And then at the end of the game, in the final couple of seconds, it ended up being 37 each. Now, the problem with this, Pete, is they kicked 4-13 for the day, Diamond Creek, to Montmorency's 5-7. They should have got the 4 points. Excellent effort to get the 2 points. They're going to be over the moon with the 2 points, but I know Andrew Tranquilli well enough that he'll be probably spewing a little bit on the other 2 points, and I'll see him down there next Tuesday night when I go and deliver the 5 slabs of beer with James Brainy as we get down there to get ready for the big MND night coming up. But for Montmorency, might have to go back, do a bit of soul searching, or do you just think that Diamond Creek could be a hell of a lot better than anybody, including myself, gave them credit for?
Yeah, well, that's where it gets interesting. You know, is this Mont are not as good, or is it Dymo are better? And like it's a sample size of one game, so we've got a bit to find out. But
I'm
I
going
think
to
Dymo
say
will be really, really disappointed. Not to get the 4 points with this one. I think if you go down there, you can't tell them that once again they're making up the numbers with their promotion up. They're there to really showcase that they can contend in this sort of and be very competitive in Div 1. And, they've come out and really should add the 4 points in what was a very good-looking Mont team on paper.
There wouldn't be a side, Pete, there would not be one side in the Melbourne Greyhounds Division 1 who didn't pencil in a W pre-season when they looked at Diamond Creek.
100%.
Right, so now all of a sudden, how many of those sides look different?
And they're like, hang on a minute. This is going to be game on when we play them.
I would be packing me ducks. I'll take a spare pair of jocks with me to the game now when you come up against Diamond Creek, because let me run through some names here in this Montmorency side, right? So you've got Jackson Bound, played VFL. You've got Corey Sleep, star. Ben Patterson, great player. Nash Holmes, superstar. Then you've got guys like Marcus Lantini, my favourite player in the league. You got Porter, Dozy, Uzelak, McIntosh, straight out of the AFL, straight into here. Jacob Naismith come on leaps and bounds. You got some red-hot superstars. I don't accept for 1 second that Montmorency aren't any good. With that list, they are good. For me, it just means Diamond Creek might be the real deal.
Like people have been saying for a couple of years that, Diamond Creek as a club look like that they can come to First Division and not just make up the numbers. With their results over the last couple of years, they weren't quite able to get it done in a couple of grand finals, and then last year they just blew the doors off McLeod in that final. So, I know KB said they haven't really recruited many. They've lost a couple. Where will they be? But, wow, that's a pretty good first up effort, and be very interesting for next week to see how they go.
Well, I think you're 100% spot on. And Diamond Creek, I'll put my hand up and say I've underestimated you. I won't make the same mistake twice. And Joel Grote, as painful it is to give you 5 slabs, make sure it goes towards the footy trip or something like that. And thank you to my very, very new best friend, James Brainy from Brainy Brothers Brewing, for bailing me out of trouble. And so just to finish off next week for Division 1, Eltham take on West Preston. You would think, if West Preston are a bit better than everyone thought, that won't be a walk in the park. That's going to have to be earned over at Panther Place. Hurstbridge take on Diamond Creek at home. Oh, you'd just be breathing a fraction harder, wouldn't you, Pete?
Oh, that's going to be a cracker.
Absolute ripper. Banyule take on Greensborough at Banyule. Whilst you would think Greensy get the job done, let me tell you, I think there's 3 VFL players and Tom Mitchell that played in that last game. If they all get games back at their other VFL clubs, you will lose some absolute talent there and Tom Mitchell. They're 4 pretty big outs, but some other guys get to come in and state their claim as well, which is what you got to do all year to win it. Heidelberg take on Montmorency. What a tough start all of a sudden for Montmorency. Jeepers. Montmorency right now, Nick Rutley, who I've been going to put a call in today. I thought I better leave him alone today. He might punch me in the throat or something if I go too early. But
maybe wait till Wednesday.
Might wait for a couple of weeks. North Heidelberg take on Bundoora at the Kennel, and I think it's the second last game at the Kennel for the year before they have to pack up the rooms and head over to their standing ground while their fantastic new pavilion goes up. But if Bundoora get the chocolates this week over North Heidelberg, people might start talking about that 5th position. I had Bundoora just missing out at 6th or 7th, and North Heidelberg getting 5th spot. North, Doggies. I played for the Doggies. If you don't get the job down this week, I might have to kick you out early, Case. Sorry, mate. I'm just might have to drop you. If Bandura can come and turn it on and knock off the doggies at home, that tells me they might be the real deal as well. Final comments from you, Pete, on your first show. I was going to call the show Beauty and the Beast, but I didn't know who was going to be the beauty and who was going to be the beast. And, you know.
I've got a great face for radio, Dad.
Yep.
So
have I. Should have called it the Beast and the Beast. But a big week ahead. Thank you so much for joining us. Final comments from you on the week?
Just good luck to everybody, and looking forward to another great round of Northern Footy League footy next weekend.
Yep, it's going to be a cracker. Don't hang up. I'll play the outro. You stay there for me, Pete. I'll come back to you in 30 seconds after this intro.
Game time, anytime. Turn it up and let it play. Local Sports Network. All day, your home team, your call day. From first whistle to replay. Local Sports Network. We live the game your way.